breaking down Lubbock Cooper sports. This is the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. Final team tonight and this week on the High School Fan Zone. We're going to switch to Lubbock Cooper. We're going to stick with softball. Big softball night tonight because the playoffs begin this week. I ran through the schedule and information. I'll repeat Lubbock Cooper's here since we're about to jump in with them. Lady Pirates are the 5A Division II number 1 seed, correct?
Yes, sir.
They are playing a best-of-3 series against Wichita Falls Memorial, which, if you're not familiar, Wichita Falls has 2 fairly new high schools. I think this is year 3? Year 2? Okay.
Yep.
They closed 3 high schools, opened 2 brand new high schools, brand new facilities, kept the old cruddy football stadium for some reason, but everything else is shiny and new. Lubbock Cooper's going to get a taste of that because their series is home and home. Lady Pirates host the first game at 4 p.m. Thursday. Go on the road to Wichita Falls Memorial. I've told the stadium's right there at the school. 5 p.m. Friday, and if a third game is necessary, right afterwards. Did you guys play there last year, Brennan?
We did, but we didn't get to play at their school because the weather had flooded a bunch of their stuff. So
and I bet they didn't want to mess it up.
Yeah.
I'm going to guess it's turf.
Yes, sir.
There we go. So that'll be familiar to you and your girls. This is, you guys, your season was very symmetrical, not in the way you wanted it to be. Won 4 district games, lost 2 district games. Won 4 district games, lost 2 district games. Or 6. 6 and... You finished 12-4, is that correct?
Yes, sir. So
I'm cheating you out of 4 wins there. The 2 losses were to Monterey and to Amarillo High, 2 very good teams. They're actually the 2 in Division I in this bracket. Bounced back very well the first time. Here we go again. It's time to let history repeat itself.
Yes, sir.
I think I saw a quote from you, or I can't remember where I saw it. You said something about, or no, you put it on social media. Okay, it's time to put that behind us and get up and get ready to play. You've had a few days to work with your girls. What have you seen from them so far?
Yeah, I've seen just a lot of good energy with them. They didn't really let that affect them last week. They showed up Monday and were really energized and ready to go and focused too. So.
And you've got a couple of them with you here. Introduce these 2 for me.
Yeah, Gabby Hernandez, she plays second and right field for us, and then Arayla Grant plays third base for us. And
Arayla, correct me if I'm wrong, you stepped in and kind of became the new jack of all trades when Lydia Pesterfield graduated because you also catch, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
But I haven't caught this year.
Well, I bet you'll get a chance to, if not this year, soon, because coaches love Swiss Army knife players. You love to be able to move them around because Gabby's one of them. For you 2 girls, I mentioned the 2 games. Now, I want to say this. I said this last week, I think, in this show on a Wednesday. That game against Monterey was an incredible game. I know y'all didn't win, but that to me is a game that, and I said this to Coach afterwards, that's a playoff game. That gets you kind of thinking what you have to do in the playoffs. You get to go play 2 days later, 3 days later against Amarillo High. Going back to the Monterey game, Amarillo, what did you guys learn from that you think will help you now that you're in the playoffs?
I think our energy was really good, and then just punch for punch and getting everything.
What about you, Gabby?
Definitely really how to diverse. That game obviously didn't end up our way, and that's just not what we wanted, but we saw what we could do against a good team. I know in my position I didn't really step up as a leadoff, and I know I just came to do better about that and just learn from it.
I think one coach said one thing that we talked about is that every play, every small thing in a game like that, and that's what the playoffs are for. And you guys, I know you played a lot in the playoffs last year. Were you still hurt or were you playing?
I was not playing.
All right. I feel like I was a bad luck charm because I told you before we came on, I showed up out there and Coach Sherry Colwell was like, you better not talk to her today. Something happened to her. So I hope I'm a better luck charm now. So
yes, sir.
Because you guys 4 rounds deep last year in the playoffs, that's a ton of experience for any girl to get, but especially when you had some girls that were younger coming back. Do you talk about that much, Brenon, to them about, okay, remember we did this, or do you feel like they're old enough, sharp enough, experienced enough now? They understand the whole playoff thing.
Yeah, I think they understand it. We didn't really talk about it. I had forgot to mention to them after we clinched a playoff spot that night that we did it, and came back the next day and told them, and they kind of already knew too. And but yeah, I don't really talk about it that much. We just go play. So.
I'm a lot older than you, but I think even your generation, we wouldn't have known because we don't have all this. We don't have the world at our fingertips. But now kids are so savvy that when you said I think they knew. Yeah, they know. I've got a teenage daughter of my own, and she knows stuff before I know it. Probably a little too soon. So,
yeah.
Coaching in the playoffs, you were Sherry's right-hand man last year. The dynamics between you two was still so fun for me to think about. You got to kind of experience that and go through that with her, with being the guy who helped but wasn't making those. You had to slide in basketball, you had to slide down a few seats. How excited are you now to be in this spot where you're kind of controlling the levers a little bit more?
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for it. It's a big accomplishment as a first-year coach to be able to make the playoffs, and I'm excited. It really has nothing to do with me. It's the girls did it and everything, and my assistants still make calls during the game, and I trust them to do that. And like Coach Carnell, she calls the pitches for us, and I trust her 100% to do that. So it's nice having that on our side. So
I'm going to disagree with you a little bit because we talked about this. You guys went through a little bit of the offensive lull, and then all of a sudden you started hitting the heck out of the ball. And I know you had something to do with that. I know they've got to do it, but I know you had to help them with that. Girl, when we come back after this break, we'll get you girls to talk about playing for Coach this year. Because Monterey, you scored the first time, scored 5 runs and then got shut out by Amarillo High. And then I think I put this in the story I wrote after that. You averaged 17 runs a game, which is mind-boggling. And that's including scoring only 12 against Monterey. So you guys are swinging the bat. And that's Ryan Miller was just in from Friendship talking about how they're playing really good defense and their pitching's getting better. And that's key at this time of year. But hitting the ball doesn't hurt.
Yep.
It doesn't matter what level, baseball or softball you're at. If you can, I said this, pitching and defense are great, but it doesn't hurt to be able to put some runs on the board as we watch the Red Sox get shut out again. We'll come back after this break and talk more Lady Pirate softball on the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Diving headfirst into Lubbock Cooper athletics. You're listening to the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. This is the High School Fan Zone on a Wednesday night. Brenon fixed me on something. I want to make sure I get this right, Brenon. Their series, it is 5 p.m. tomorrow, 5 p.m. Thursday at First United Bank Park, and then 4 p.m. on Friday over in Wichita Falls.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll get that fixed on the site, and I'll make sure that people have the right information. And make sure you show up at the field on time.
Yep.
You're just talking about it, one of the former coaches that you guys know well. And I wouldn't want to be late at a game he was coaching. So, all right, you guys get a chance to make Coach blush here a little bit. Gabby, he downplayed it, his impact. But like I said, you guys went through a little bit of offensive lull and then came out just swinging with a vengeance. And I know that was part of his deal last year. I'm going to guess he's not forgotten how to coach hitting. What has he done for you guys to kind of get your bats going these last couple of, I guess, 4 or 5 weeks?
So we were struggling hitting, but I really think that we struggled mentally as well. And we just weren't together as a team at the time. And that's what he really focused on, was us getting mentally prepared. And after us getting together as a team and really talking about it and just us being there mentally, the hitting came. He worked on our swings, yes, but after we were together and we really worked together, then that's when the sticks started coming. And now, since we're a family, I think we're just all together and we trust each other, and especially at the plate.
Now, I know Lainey, anytime she steps up, the ball may leave the yard. She's that good a hitter. But watching you guys the other night, Lorela, it wasn't like a fireworks show. You were just putting the ball, you were just finding holes. You were making good contact, going the other way, hitting well when you had 2 strikes. that's for younger players. That's pretty heady stuff. That's stuff you have to get coached on and kind of condition yourself to do. Is that something you guys have gotten a lot better at?
Yes, sir. We've gotten a lot better about attacking and just staying within yourself and just relaxing. And I feel like he puts that, like, it's like stuck in my head. So.
Well, that's good. Coach has made his impact. Brennan, I want to go back to what I just said, though. That game, if I remember right, I think Laney, she had 2 hits up first pitch. Mm-hmm. So there's some hitters that are going to be more comfortable with, I just need to find something quick. There's some hitters that are going to be more comfortable waiting and looking. Mm-hmm. How do you kind of balance that with your girls? Or getting to know them is obviously a big key, but what approach or is it individual approach when they get up there? Yeah,
it's just an individual approach. They're not cookie cutters when it comes to swings. Like, they're not going to be robots. They're not going to all have the same swing, same approach. Each person, what I expect from them, and I tell them this all the time, is have good quality at bats and hit hard line drives, hard ground balls, and then the rest will take care of itself.
Which is what you guys did. The game that I watched, that's what it was. Again, when Laney makes contact, it seems like the ball flies off of her bat a little bit different. We use the term unicorn a lot in here talking about players. Laney's a unicorn. She's as good as, I would argue, as good a player as there is in Lubbock, Texas right now, and has been since she was a young pup. You have her in the middle of the lineup, but you've also got Tatum Southard. The team you lost to, Monterey, Brian Kronk, was just effusive in his praise about Tatum afterwards. Said he wanted to make sure that she kept her head up because she made the last out. She's one of your girls. You brought her in here before, and I think Mike Moffitt may have brought her in here, or no. It's Sutton that's the volleyball player.
Gunset was the volleyball player, yes, sir.
But Tatum's been in here, and you can tell she's got leadership qualities. As a first-year coach especially, having somebody like that who you can make your speech, you can deliver your message, but you know that you've got a conduit to these girls that they know, they're going to hear the message from you.
Yeah, and that's kind of really all the returners are leaders this year, and they each have their own different way of leading, and I think that helps us a ton because they're able to get to each girl in a different way. Like, if I'm more stern, Tatum may be more stern as well, but then we've got 2 other ones that are like, hey, you've got this, it's okay, like, you're good kind of deal.
Well, I heard a little bit of leadership from Gabby a minute ago when she talked about how she needed to do better. Gabby, which one are you? Are you the stern one, or are you the follow me and do it this way?
I think I'm a mix of both. I can be stern at times, but I also know that, like, people can get down on themselves and they just need to, hey, you got this. And I think I'm a mix of both.
Rattle off those returners because you did bring some girls back.
Yeah, so Tatum, Southard, McKenna Garcia, Addison Gunset, and then Gabby Hernandez, Laney Gibson, Sutton Wilson, Arayla Grant, and I believe that is it, right?
So the cupboard had some groceries in it, and that's important when you're a first-year coach, when you're any coach, but especially a first-year coach. We've got one more segment. We're going to talk Lubbock Cooper softball for a few more minutes when we come back after this break on the High School Fan Zone.
Your inside look into Lubbock Cooper sports. This is the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. One more segment talking Lubbock Cooper softball. And before we jump in, I want to mention one more time in this last segment, the news of the day in Lubbock and sports scene is that longtime Friendship boys basketball coach Paul Page is hanging up his whistle. After 12 years at Friendship, 30 years as a coach, 530, I know I've got it in the story, but 500 and a lot of wins, let's just put it that way. 12 district championships, 20 trips to the playoffs between his time at Friendship and Seminole. So there's another legend that's ridden off into the sunset. These folks know a little bit about that because Sherry Colwell, who snuck that by me last year, where I don't know if you were there that day. You guys had gotten to the 4th round. I was coming out to do stuff, talk to your girls, and I walked up, and she said, well, Brenon will handle this. And I said, okay. And she said, I've got to go to this ceremony. I said, what ceremony? It's a retirement ceremony. I said, oh, who's retiring? She said, well, I am. What?
Yeah.
So I know you knew along the way, but I don't want to ask you girls about this. I talked about it a little bit. Watching those two coach together, they're like night and day. Because Coach Cowell's just like an exposed nerve. Coach Brennan's pretty calm. Has it been an adjustment for you guys this year, or did you get to know him well enough to understand it was going to be a little bit different?
I think we knew that was going to be different. Cole is obviously definitely more harder, and she really has a physical side on us. Coach Rhodes does a really great job mentally on us. And so it's an adjustment, but I think we knew that it was going to be that way, and it's not one that we're complaining about at all.
No. The fact that you get to play for two great coaches, y'all should be blessed by that.
Absolutely.
Brennan, tell me a little bit about Wichita Falls Memorial. What have you seen on them that you guys have to be ready to take care of business against them?
Yeah, I mean, this is the team we played first round last year as well, and they're bringing back a lot of their team. And we've gotten a little bit of film on them, but we can't judge anything on film or anything. We got to still show up and do our job because we coach high school kids, and their playoffs, anything can happen.
And they didn't get there by accident.
Yeah, so we've got to show up ready to play and just treat it like any other game.
Beat them in 2 last year?
Yes, sir.
But one of the games, if I remember right, was pretty tight.
At the beginning, yes, and then we kind of got a little comfortable and started hitting. So
Aurelia, did you get to play in the playoffs last year?
No, sir.
So this is, even though you're a sophomore, this is kind of you're probably going to have some butterflies.
Yes, sir.
What Coach just said there about just doing what you guys do and how do you make sure you chase those butterflies away as quickly as possible and just go out there and play the way you can?
I think just knowing that my team has my back, and then just staying within myself and knowing that no matter what, like, everything's going to be okay.
What do you remember Gabby, about being in the playoffs last year? Because I remember even against Grapevine, right down to the last pitch, you guys didn't get rattled, had a chance. What about this team makes you feel like you've got that in your DNA again?
Just relaxing. I mean, yes, it's the playoffs and it's a big game, but it's just another game. We've played this sport, most of us, since we were 4 years old, and just learning how to get those nerves away. I mean, it's a game. You're going to play. It's the end result's the end result, and just as long as you play your best, it's going to go good.
More of that leadership. Mm-hmm. It's a good answer.
Yep.
Brennan, I had to ask Ryan about the one game thing, about how that works. How did you guys wind up playing home and home against them? Is that a coin flip? Is that something you guys go back and forth with? Yeah,
I had just called their coach early last week, and I had gotten both them and Wiley set up because we didn't know until Monday who we were going to play. But we just talked about it over the phone, and we just flipped what we did last year, where we went to their place first for their home game, and then they came to us the second day, and we agreed to flip it and them come here first on Thursday, and we go there first or second on Friday.
Because logistically, to be fair, there's not a whole lot of humanity between here and Wichita Falls,
yeah.
So finding a halfway place is kind of a challenge. So it actually makes sense. It's a pretty good road trip each way. It's probably longer than you guys, just a regular district road trip from anywhere. But the good news is you get to play at home first. You don't have to get to sleep in your own bed 2 nights in a row. So that starts at 5 p.m. tomorrow at First United Bank Park, Wichita Falls Memorial, and Lubbock Cooper. 4 p.m. Friday, Lady Pirates. I bet they take care of business. I'm going to throw that out there. I won't make them say it, but I'll say it. By district round of the 5A Division II playoffs, Lubbock Cooper went to the 4th round, the regional championship round last year. A lot of players back. Aurela's back. She gets to get her chance in the playoffs finally. So I'm looking forward to seeing what Lubbock Cooper does. We'll definitely have them back on in a few weeks here if they're still alive and well. So come back Monday. We'll be back in the High School Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.